What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. It's Gabby Trades here and welcome back to the channel. Well, altcoins and Bitcoin can really surprise us big this week and we must get ahead of the curve just like every trading week. But you guys, before we jump in, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified every single time I'm live here with you, giving you the latest price breakdowns. Well, we have big week ahead of us, starting with the JOLTS job openings, you guys. This is what we're going to look at over here right now. Hello. Hi, Joshua. How are you guys? So yeah, first thing we need to concern ourselves with is the JOLTS opening right now, which, by the way, we just got the data coming right now at 7.44. Now that is less than expected, right? Because when we get a drop like that, it means that there is a cooling demand in the labor market, which is going to, or it needs to weaken the dollar, right? So that's the first thing we're looking at over here in terms of the JOLTS opening. So that's the first news we got for this week, but we're very heavy on news. We're very heavy on news because tomorrow we have the ADP, which is the non-farm employment change. So that is going to be a private estimate on the US jobs and is going to show us whether we have good numbers or bad numbers. If we get good numbers, that is going to boost the US dollar, while if we get the weak numbers, that is potentially going to, slow us down. Now, most importantly, after that, we have the first quarterly reading for the GDP, you guys. This is very important, right? Because it's going to show us, like, if we get a stronger GDP, this is going to be supportive for the US dollar, and the weak one is going to fuel further fear. So this is what we need to be looking at. We're going to go through all the news because I feel you guys need to know what these readings are, and they're very important. Fundamentals are important. So then, of course, we're going to the federal funds rates as well tomorrow, which is going to be very important because that is going to it's actually not going to do anything because it's unexpected to have any changes right now, right? We're not expecting any change. We are going to pay attention over here on the guidance, right? Not on the number itself, because we already know nothing's going to happen. So, we're going to look at the FOMC statement and press conference instead, right? Because we want to hear what is Fed Chair Powell going to say. What is his tone going to be, right? If he is like more hawkish, that is going to give us a little bit more confidence in the US dollar. And if he's dovish, it is going to show weakness, right? And then, interestingly enough, on Thursday, just after all this cacophony, we're going to have the PCE, which is actually the Core PCE. And that's, like we said before, we said many times, that's the preferred inflation gauge for the Fed. Now, so if we get it higher, this is going to mean that inflation is in a way still sticky, right? And if it's lower, it's going to be not so sticky. So yeah, that's for the Core PCE. By the way, the Core PCE, you guys remember, that doesn't include food or energy. Then after that, we at the same time, in the same day, we have the employment cost index. Now that is going to measure the wage growth. Like, rising costs are going to again fuel inflation, and it's important to look at these numbers as well. And of course, after that, we have the unemployment claims that are always coming weekly for us. So obviously more claims is going to mean that it's bad, right? That it's weakness in the labor is going to be bearish for the US dollar. And on Friday, we end up with a complete bang, because then we get the average hourly earnings over here month on month. So that is going to track the wage inflation. Faster growth, again, is going to be supportive of, it's going to strengthen the dollar, right? And then again, very important, non-farm employment change. Now that is main job economic report. It's going to give us an idea again if the jobs are strong or not. Now, in terms of the unemployment rate, I know we're going one by one, but it's really important. It's going to show us the percentage of unemployed people. So rising rate, again, weakening the dollar. and it's going to show us that the economical conditions are maybe softening in a way. And last one, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI. So that's an industry sentiment gauge in a way. And again, when we have the 50 numbers, just remember that anything above 50 bullish for the US dollar, anything below, it's going to mean that it is contracting. Right, so that is in terms of what we have here with the news, right? Let's look at the dollar real quick since we're talking about the news. So dollar is surging, right? Dollar is surging. So you're gonna ask the question, of course, naturally, why is the dollar surging? Well, Trump is working super hard on all the tariff deals with so many countries, right? We had Japan over there like last week. Then we had Europe. So he made a deal with Europe on 15%. So he's also having talks with China about a truce as well. And the European deal is like, again, we're talking a lot of billions, like something around like 700 billion plus on energy deals purchasing from the European Union. Now, this deal is definitely in favor of the US, if you ask me. So Washington is winning once again, you know. And as you can see, the dollar is surging from all of these news. It's just, I don't know, America, like, it makes you think, it makes you wonder, like, who actually blew the energy pipes back in Germany back then? Like, I'm no conspiracy theorist, you guys, honestly, like, I'm so not like that, but they're getting paid after all. Anyways, like what else do we have? Oh yeah, on the 31st also we have a major appeal case, right? So that case was going to directly challenge the power of the president on all of these tariffs, right? So that appeal is under the IEEPA. So if it passes through Supreme Court and is going to, and if it rules against the administration, any previously signed deals, including Japan, Europe, you name it, they all could be legally invalidated, you guys. Now, all these things are important to make note of, right? Not only we're finishing the month, we're signing all these deals, and then on the 31st, everything can just like turn around like this. Completely insane if you ask me. Hello everyone, let's see who's in the chat. How's it? Gabby Z Trader, Joto is here. Who else? Shane, very nice to see you. Loki, Darcy, you guys, welcome very much. Let me know in the chat box, have you been surviving the altcoin dip? Now, you need to let me know how you've been doing, because we know what happens when Bitcoin drops. You know what happens with alts, like I don't even need to say it anymore, but this time they've been holding a little bit good, so it's actually fine in my opinion for now. So first of all, of course, yeah, so this is the dollar again at a resistance point over here. Let's see if we're gonna break it. What's gonna be the verdict for the dollar over here after all this news that we have this week is going to be super crazy, you know, to see all that. So starting with Bitcoin over here, why are we on the weekly? Where are our ranges? Okay, this is we're looking at right now at the futures. In fact, why not? Let's look at the futures together. If I'm able to see which one's the future. Oh yeah, this one. So basically, we started the week with a gap up. Right? The reason we started the week with a gap up is because Trump announced really good deals. So for the TradFi, for everything, we gapped up. So yesterday when I was discussing this on my own channel, by the way, you guys, if you haven't joined my main YouTube channel here, what you can do is come on this video, click more, and you're going to find all of my social accounts, including of my personal YouTube channel. Well, I talk a lot more in depth about whatever the fundamentals and everything. I think it's important. So down here you can find that. So anyway, I was discussing that on my channel on Monday about the CME gap over here. And then pretty much that gap happened on all TradFi as well as crypto. And then we had an expectations for this gap to be filled throughout the day yesterday. And these expectations fulfilled yet again. And the gap is holding as support right now. So we're currently like, you know, consolidating a little bit and creating like a very tight consolidation, which obviously we know what the, when that happens, what follows after that is, you know, a move to either side. Hello. So yeah, all right, moving on to Bitcoin over here. So let's have a look. I usually like for Monday to develop for me to create my bias, but my bias for this week, for now, at least for now, it is bullish. So the first observations that I'm having over here, first of all, we're ending the month, very important week, right? End of the month week and beginning of the week in the next month are important weeks for transition, right? They will set the transition into the new month. So that's why I pay very close attention by the end of the month. So last week of the month and beginning first week of the following month is very important for me. So over here, first thing I can look at and realize is that on a 4-hour time frame, which is relatively high time frame, we have liquidity down here at almost what is that, 114,667 low down here, which was the retest of the CME gap for which we were preparing last week, and we caught very correctly together with the alts, and everything was on levels. So if you guys were part of this live stream, congratulations, you probably caught some really good trades. So yeah, basically now this low is showing that it is a weak low. Okay, we need to consider that. But as of now, the way the week is unfolding, it is still giving a bullish signal. So this could be just a manipulation for now down here to potentially trap people. However, my bias for this week is that price is going to extend a little bit higher. But from here on, I'm going to be very careful. Why? Because we need to remember that Bitcoin is still in a range, right? We're still in a range. We haven't exited the range properly. So even though we had that drop here to the downside, in my opinion, this is all I wanted to see for a long position over here on Bitcoin. So that has unfolded right now, and I'm happy with that. Now, another thing that I follow usually is how the week develops. So yesterday we started the week, and now I'm seeing that we're trading a little bit above it, right? We're trading a little bit above it and still trading below the 0.5. For me, that is bullish. So I pretty much want to still buy, right? If you're not in down here from the CME, you would still want to be in my opinion, for buys. But then what you need to be very careful of is also the fact that on a 1-hour time frame, we also have this high over here as liquidity. Now, when you see dollar signs like that on my chart and developing triangles like that, this is going to showcase to you weak highs and weak lows according to my strategy. Yet again, if you want to get these indicators, you guys, feel free, drop below the description of the video, and you're going to see get my trading indicators down here. You can get them for yourself and add them to your chart. Very helpful. They're also going to give you like all the support and resistance levels and stuff like that. So if you're not down here, I'm still looking for buys, even though we have immediate liquidity. So how would I approach normally anything like this? So if I see an immediate liquidity down here on a 1-hour time frame, we already had sort of like a little bit of tap into it, but by that time over here, that liquidity was not developed. The weak low was not confirmed yet. So why is this a weak low? Where it's very simple, because this low is responsible for this high, right? This low is responsible for this high, and this high did not take the previous high. So that pretty much means that this low over here is weak. And in my opinion, any drops below, yes, you guys, make sure you press the like button of this video to support me, because I'm still trying to get a lot of you guys that are here on a Coin Bureau trading channel to start to trust me and start watch me and understand my analysis. So if you support me with likes, it means the world to me. So yeah, I think over here, if we're lucky enough, right? Because right now we're retesting the true week open over here. But if we're lucky to get a drop to down here, or maybe even to the 0.236, for me, these are all going to be buy areas, right? So hopefully price is right now, for me, it looks good, right? And it is going to look even better if it drops a little bit further down here for continuation buys. Now, the question from here on is, what is going to happen once, if I'm correct, right? If I'm correct, what is going to happen once we take the liquidity over here that is sitting just at we're looking at 120,331. Now that is going to be the big question, because once we take that liquidity up here, right, we might exhaust and price might start pulling back. Or what could happen is that from here we tag the 0.786, which is at 121,436, and then again get a rejection from that level. Or if Bitcoin dominance like goes completely berserk, we could hopefully even see new all-time highs, because don't forget, and that's what I preach always, when price is coming directly from the 0.5 and it hasn't tapped into the 0.236, that is going to showcase that price wants to exit to the upside, right? This is how I work out my my analysis usually on a daily basis, right? Okay, cool. So now that we've established that for Bitcoin, we're still trading the range. We're in the range. There is absolutely no signals as of now. When and at what point are we going to exit the range? So all we can do is trade the range as it is. In terms of Ethereum, obviously yesterday we started the day like that, right? So pretty much we were very in expectations of the drop. We had a buy zone over here that held, right? So the buy zone over here held perfectly. So basically what happened with Ethereum was we had a support down here, daily support, if you see it, right? Daily support down here. We had a confirmation for short. These are all things from the weeks before or last week. So basically we had a short over here, take profit at the daily, a daily created a new high over here, and we developed a new buy zone. So as we started this week, we did, however, reached a massive sell zone, right? Massive sell zone for Ethereum. Now, I'm going to tell you why is this sell zone so crazy. Now, this is a high time frame range over here. You're looking at years of range. So first of all, when did, for the first time, this level became a level of resistance? Well, that was over here back in 2021 for Ethereum, right? When we had the highest weekly close over here and we rejected. And since then, it's been like a clockwork resistance for Ethereum, right? See, over here, how many times I cannot tell you, right? But I've been selling from that level like absolute crazy person, and it hasn't been failing, to be honest. Now eventually it needs to fail, and if any time it needs to fail during this bull run, in my opinion. So obviously the sells from here, very clear. The sell zone is extremely clear as well. This is a supply zone over here. So the thing is, right, yesterday when we started trading Ethereum, we were looking at it, there was a buy setup and there was a short setup, right? There was a short setup from over here and there was a buy setup from back into the buy zone, and both of them pretty much worked, right? Sell from the 0.786, buy from the buy zone, clockwork, pretty much clockwork for Ethereum over here. So now the question is, what is going to happen with this zone? Because don't forget, the zone is kind of big, right? The zone is kind of big. And actually on my Discord, someone told me that there is so many liquidations above 4,000 on Ethereum that is actually going to get really hot if price jumps to that level. But do not forget, the sell zone is all the way between 3,900 to like 4,116. So that means that we could still get a spike over here. We could still get price to spike and then quickly return back to it, right? This is what we need to watch when price does that, because I'm pretty much expecting for price to do that right now. Is it going to wick that area? Are we going to get any body closes above here, which is $4,116? Because once we get a body close above that area, guess what's going to happen to the sell zone, where it's going to turn into, instead of a sell order block, now it's going to be a buy breaker block. So that is going to show extreme strength. But I think here there is going to be so much work to get that done that is going to be pretty insane if we manage to finish it like within this week. I'll be very, very surprised, right? Because we're talking about historical level over here that has been rejecting for so many times, but eventually it needs to give up. And I think now it's going to be the highest probability time for this zone to give up. So the thing is that this buy zone that we left down here is so deep, right? It's so deep. We are essentially technically already in a sell zone, so you could be seeing pullbacks, right? And the pullbacks could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9%. We might even drop down and retest the daily support, and we have another daily support down here at 3,368. So all these things we need to be looking out for, because when I look at the other alts, it also makes sense to me. Everything is at a point of an exhaustion, but I do believe that Bitcoin is going to push one more time. So I think for this week, I'm quite safe to be on the bullish side, right? But once we start reaching this area here for Ethereum, prepare yourselves, you guys, prepare yourselves, because you know, there hasn't been a pullback on Ethereum, and it is due one very, very hard, right? It is due one very, very hard. So we could see that pullback. And alts have been performing so far well. Let's have a look here. Someone requested Solana. We're gonna have a look at Solana real quick. Well, you guys that follow me here for a little bit while, and if you're new here, welcome. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoy the content that I'm doing for you guys. And again, make sure to go scroll down the video over here and find all the deals that I'm associated with here, that you can get bonuses on Bybit. For Bybit, you can even get in a private Telegram group. I'm waiting for you guys to join in the private Telegram group, so then you can get more of me and you can get more of my analysis on a daily basis, right? You get so many sign-up bonuses. For example, if you download CoinCatch and you get on CoinCatch, you get 150 sign-up bonus, which is super nice, right? 2bit, you get 9k bonus and all these cool things. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and all the other stuff are down here in the description box. So yeah, basically what I wanted to say about Solana, for the ones that have been with me, we said very clearly that this very big yellow block is going to be a massive resistance for Solana. So basically Solana sold off from there, right? And then what we did after that together with you is identify the buy zones over here. So we have one buy breaker block down here, which was the main support, and then we had another support down here. So basically, yesterday, that was it, right? We had a sell and we had a buy. Same thing with Ethereum, and pretty much everything yesterday was like, you can buy and you can sell, but it's a very, very little return. That's why, you know, Mondays for me, I don't really usually bother. But over here, you get like a pretty nice stab into the main buy zone, and then quickly price snaps back and it closes above the first mini buy zone, right? So that was a good sign. But then you tapped into the sell zone over here, which was a fair value gap left after we rejected. So essentially that was your sell over here, a setup, right? And now you're getting again back into support. So is price going to reject yet again one more time? These are the things that we need to be looking out for. All right. For Solana, in terms of Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance, again, same thing, in between levels, right? Bouncing from the buy zone over here, selling from resistance zone. So that is pretty much it. It is going to be a zone of indecision right now, especially due to all the news and everything. Oh, Hyper. Let's look at Hyper. That's a very good idea. Ailey suggested that we should definitely look at Hyper over here on a daily time frame. Yeah, this thing has been like one of the top performance, right? It's done so freaking well. Let's see if the liquidity is showing everything. In terms of liquidity, nothing on a higher time frame. I do not like to see that, right? But that's because it's been like going parabolically and it hasn't really left many zones for us to find, because it's also quite new, right? So the first thing that my eye is seeing over here is going to be that support down here on a 4-hour time frame that was respected one time. As you can see very clearly, the support was created over here by the end of June. So a fairly new support, but still it is there, facts. And over here we have one earlier from around 26th of May down here. So these are the major areas that I would be concerning myself with. And then I want to see and zoom a little bit here on this liquidity that hasn't been taken down here. No, we haven't taken that liquidity, so there is still some liquidity left down here for grabs on hype right now, but it's been fairly in a downtrend, right? Within the big bullish trend, but fairly dropping down. So over here, essentially right now, it is reacting from the 50%. So yeah, I don't even need to, like, maybe I can pull the areas. Why not? Let's just do it together. Let's just do it together over here. We just need to assess the price leg over here. So we're going to put it down from this low to this high. So yeah, for now it is pretty strong. So I do think that this is going to see levels probably above $50 very soon, but the areas of support and resistance I think are very key over here. So you want to be looking at $41, you want to be looking at $39, all of these areas in case of a pullback, which we could potentially see. So you know, you're going to be looking at maybe 5% or even further. Yeah, and then if we start pulling back like crazy on all the altcoins and everything, because Ethereum is at such a crazy sell zone, I would be considering potentially wiping the liquidity down here. So then that'll be looking like 15%, let's say. So that's for hype. But then we want to see all the altcoins and kind of align all the levels together to make sure that we have something that is matching on all the different altcoins, right? Just like we did last week, and it worked perfectly. Someone said SUI. Let's have a look at SUI. Yeah, I like to go over the alts together with you guys over here. So SUI high time frame again, been performing quite well. Sold again. Remember, everything was at levels. Solana was at level, SUI was at level over here. So we sold off from that level right now, and it seems to me, so right now we're currently in a sort of a buy zone, right? We have like a mini fair value gap formulating here, but price is not really respecting it, right? So it's really going to depend how this 4-hour candle closes over here on SUI specifically, because if it continues to close and if it doesn't close above this support that I have here for $3.8710, I would probably look for that coin to drop further down to back to the 0.5 over here, right? Back to the 0.5. So that will be $3.5, right? So these are the two case scenarios. This is what you're looking at, right? When you're looking at altcoins, you always have, when price is indecisive, or if you have like a heavy news week, you're always going to be looking at price traveling in between two levels, So yeah, pretty much that's what SUI is looking for. And to repeat it again, looking at this 4-hour, sorry, that's daily. So today needs to close above $3.87. If we close above that, I will maintain sort of a bullish bias for this. And if we don't close, then I'm going to look for a drop to 3.58, right? You guys love APT here, don't you? Tell me why you love APT. Like, is it a super strong project? Now, I hold APT myself, but I'm always like, you know, I don't really know what's happening with all the projects and everything, because I just look at the charts. I don't concern myself with anything else. All right, so we're looking at APT on a daily level over here, daily time frame. Good reaction from a daily support, right? Good reaction from a daily support down here, $4.56. I like to see that. I like to see that, definitely. We do have a lot of liquidity to the upside for that, so I'm still confident that it's going to reach $7. But before that, Before that, oh my, can we just drop down? Yes, potentially, right? Potentially. And then you're going to be looking at $4.3 to start holding. And if we start losing $4.3, it's not going to look that that hot anymore, right? In fact, for me, it's going to be looking quite hot. Why? Because if we manage to exit that range over here that is forming, like it's a bit, it looks a bit bad. But in case we drop below this low over here, I think this is going to be like a very, very good buy setup on APT in case that happens. But for now, it seems that it is holding a major level 4.56. So you want to see it holding that level. Unfortunately, with this drop here, we created a very substantial bearish fair value gap, which is not very cool to see. So again, trading in between levels over here, you definitely want to see that cleared. So APT has a lot more to go, and anyone who's trying to catch the bottom, I'm telling you guys, there is no point in trying to catch the bottom. ETH BTC has a lot more work to do. Nobody is going to miss anything, in my opinion. So I'm not stressing about alts at all, honestly, at all, because Bitcoin dominance has a lot more work to do. And then yeah, I think if we start dropping here, it's not going to be very, very nice, but then we're definitely going to get another run on alts. That's what I'm seeing. So I think we're good, right? And see, there's so many resistance and supports here on APT, right? 4.3, 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, $5. Now, why not just break those levels and then like gain the confidence? You know, all right, we're done. We've taken enough liquidity from here. We're finally done with this move. It's time to go up, right? And you want to see a confirmation for that, right? So a confirmation of that sort is going to be candles closing such as these over here, right? Very, very strong candles to the upside. Now that was a very good buy signal, especially after we have traded below the level, below the extreme level over here, 4.3, and then started reversing with these candles on a retrace. You know that this is a perfect trade down here. So yeah, you got to play it smart, and at the same time we did so far, right? APT all-time high is $20. Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, it is $20 over here, and it's a very nice all-time high, you know, because you have the double top over here. So I like to see that. I like to see that on a high time frame. I'm not sure the all-time high. Nah, it's not really. See, but we even have more. Like APT is a bit crazy. Like look at this candle over here, right? Was that a launch candle or something? Like what the hell was that? But yeah, $20, you have a double weekly candle formation over here, double top, so that's not bad. But yeah, in general, it's not too hot. The only reason I like it and I hold it is because it's one of the coins that hasn't like dropped below its original lows, right? It hasn't dropped below the original lows that were created here back in the days, whereas a lot of alts have actually done that, and I'm not interested in them as much, to be fair with you guys. So let's have a look. Here we have ALGO. Oh, that's interesting. I actually haven't looked at that in quite a bit. You guys. Good shout. Good shout over here. Yeah, so well, no surprise, because of the lows that we made over here, it's not something that I like to look at anymore. Sorry if I offend anyone, but it is what it is, right? I mean, it does have some liquidity here at the 0.98, so that is probably the only thing that I'm seeing. That's on a daily, so not bad. Look at that. Will we get also that liquidity up here at $3.3 almost, 2.98 on ALGO? So it's not looking bad, to be fair. You only at this point you only can hope to hold the supports, which you can see are holding very, very nice over here. So this support, for example, that held over here, was created back in April 2024 last year. So you see price traded below it, right? And then exploded and then came back all the way to erase all the gains and then retest the level once and then twice over here. Of course, the first time was in April when ETH BTC showed the first signs of life, right? So that was your first tap over here, and then you're looking at the support from July last year over here. So yeah, it's looking fine for now. Now the only thing that we need to do again at major level, right, over here. So if we start dropping below this level, now the trading range is going to become this range over here. So you're going to be trading in between this range, right, in between this range over here. So you want to be following what this price leg does and how this price leg trades. This is how I basically do my stuff, right? Because yes, alts have a lot of potential to the upside, but you need to be looking at the current price range, right? You need to look at where price reached top and where price bottomed in the recent current price leg, which is the price range. So you're looking at that and then you're assessing where is the discount, where is the premium of that range, and then you trade that range accordingly, right? And then once you see signs of strength in that range, then you can be confident that price is going to continue to the upside. And also, again, with the help of my indicators, it's so easy to see, right? If you have levels to the upside. Of course, mate, we can look at GRT as well. Over here, is that GRT or is that, here's GRT over here? Yeah. So GRT is one of the ones that is looking fine. Actually, it has a lot of liquidity to the upside. So the one thing that's keeping me positive again, and I'm going to repeat it for you guys, is that we haven't traded below here the levels of 2023 January. So you definitely don't want to see price trading below. And then obviously with that move up over here, just here, you create a buy zone which was respected once very, very nicely, right? So this is a major zone, right? Major zone. So I've been looking at GRT for a long time, and the thing is, right, so once you get a bounce like that from a buy zone, right, how much are we talking over here? 571%. You most definitely want to be looking at this level as a generational buy opportunity, because that's what price is showing us, right? Price is showing us that GRT is at a level where it could absolutely go ballistic, right? Absolutely go ballistic. Not to mention that the first liquidity that we have is over here, right, at 0.35. So let's go back and review this together, right? So we're rejecting from the liquidity, from the support. Major support over here as well. You have a level. Is that weekly actually? Is it daily? Is it 4 hourly, 12 hourly? What are we looking at over here? I think it was daily, whatever. So yeah, basically that was my alarm bell over here. You want to see price rejecting from this level with strength. So of course we're here now and we're like playing about not ready yet, not ready. Why? Because at the first rejections that we get, right, the first signs of resistance, price is rejecting again from it. So you really want to be looking out at these levels, and if we're lucky, you know, we might even get another tap to the buy zone, and that is pretty much going to be it, in my opinion. You know, if that happens, if we start seeing some pullbacks like that, it's going to be so great. But yeah, for now I'm seeing strength in the alts, really, right? With the pullbacks, they're holding levels, they're not like completely teeting themselves, you know what I mean? So we're gonna be fine. And yeah, GRT first liquidity, geez, like it's not bad at all. you know, from now we're looking at probably 240%. So right, daily and weekly, I think we also had something. No, pretty much nothing on weekly here on GRT. But yeah, you definitely want to be looking at those levels up here. I don't know if anything above that, right? We do have another liquidity here at 0.54, but depending on how price works, I don't know if I'm going to be holding my breath on this, but I'm definitely now adding it to my list because it seems to be looking very, very good. But yes, you guys, and again, if you're looking to trade any of these things, just drop down in the description box. You can get sign-up bonuses, which are pretty good deals over here. So have a look at the deals section for everything that I've been able to prepare for you guys with the help of Coin Bureau Trading. Make sure you go ahead and have a look at all that and follow my social accounts. And yeah, it's been great to have you here for a Thursday, you guys. And don't forget to watch me again on Thursday, right? We have streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays live together. I hope you have the greatest week, you guys, and trade safe. I see you in the next one.